I've been combing through the upcoming release lists for the next couple of months, and honestly, my TBR pile is starting to cry a little bit, but like in a really good way. Things are just about to get so chaotic and heavy, these piles are going to grow. There are some incredibly diverse and exciting stories hitting the shelves soon, from dark retellings to fresh debuts, and I wanted to highlight some that have definitely caught my eye. So come on the journey with me. Let's talk about them. First up, we have a horror that actually has already dropped. It dropped February 1st. It's called We Should Not Have Come Here by J.D. Mills. The premise follows the host of a paranormal reality show, so think ghost hunting TV, who's built a following on faking it. But when they arrive at a dilapidated former reform school to shoot a new season, that facade just totally falls apart. It sounds like a chilling exploration of what happens when the skepticism kind of like runs out and real horror actually takes over and begins. I'm thinking if you like found footage vibes or stories about hauntings that are actually, like really haunted, this one probably will be up our alleys. And then books that came out just yesterday, so February 3rd. Um, there's actually kind of a lot of these, but let's start with Greedy by Kali Kazumi. This one is being described as a deliciously dark thriller set in Japan. It follows a desperate gambling addict who masquerades as a private chef to a reclusive billionaire with deadly taste. The blurbs are comparing it to Parasite and The Menu, which honestly, like that's really all I needed to hear to be intrigued by this. It's promising to be a suspenseful look at classism, wealth, and the horrifying things people will do for a seat at the table. So I am very curious to see just how dark this one gets. Also out on the 3rd is something completely different from that, but very fun: How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. This one is supposed to be like a slasher rom-com. Yes, you heard that right, slasher rom-com, where a cinephile gets caught in the middle of a murder spree at a speed dating event and has to use her knowledge of horror tropes to survive. So, kind of sounding like the perfect mix of scary and hilarious, especially because it looks like maybe there's going to be a love triangle while also trying to not get slashed up by a machete. So, sounds super fun. I'm thinking if you're a fan of Love in the Time of Serial Killers, this will be a great new addition to the genre for us. And then, if you prefer your horror with a side of social commentary and what looks like it's going to be incredible art, check out Mama Came Calling. This is a graphic novel written by Ezra Clayton Daniels and illustrated by Camilla. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. If not, please reach out, let me know. Sucra. Also out on the 3rd, it's set in Florida. Hey, Florida! The Florida Bayou, and follows a young woman who has to confront her estranged father and this urban legend of the Gator Man that like totally shadowed her childhood. It's described as a hybrid of, wait for it, swamp noir, slasher horror, and social satire. And these illustrations, I've looked up some by this illustrator before. They are like just beautiful. I love the style, very stunning. So this is definitely one to pick up if you are in the story for the visuals as much as the story itself. And then jumping ahead a week to February 10th, we have Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. This one seems like I don't know. I think I saw Nightmare Fuel for the digital age somewhere. It follows a tradwife influencer. I think we all probably know what those are, but if you don't, I trust you to Google, my friends, who is desperate for a baby. And when she finds a mysterious well on her property and makes a wish, well, you can guess, I think, how that's going to go. She does get pregnant, but things get weird fast. It's being pitched as Rosemary's Baby for the social media era. So it's like disturbing horror with sharp satirical edge on it. I'm expecting this to be a very intense read. I'm hopeful, that that's where it's going to go. So yeah, we'll have to come back and see how it went. Also dropping February 10th is a debut novel I am very excited about. For Human Use by Sarah G. Pierce. This concept is wild, y'all. So, modern dating is dead, and there's a new app called Live, which matches people with dead bodies. Honestly, so not sure where this is going to go, but like, Here for it. It's supposedly a better alternative to excuse me, supposedly a better alternative to conventional, relationships. So it kinda sounds like, looking at the blurbs is sort of a sharp satire of, like, venture capitalists and online influence culture maybe, and just kind of like this disconnect from reality that I feel like we're seeing right now with so many people talking about wanting to go more analog and like have a gentler life. I think like it's gonna kind of maybe dig into that. I'm always looking for fresh voices in horror, and this one sounds pretty inventive, so I have high hopes. Another debut out on February 10th is Of Beasts by M. Jane Worma. And this is going to be a queer horror novel about, stick with me, a priest who falls in love with the Antichrist. It explores the idea that the Antichrist is a half human entity just kind of trying to avoid ending the world while his pastor, love of his life, is pressured by God to kill him. It sounds like, or it's being pitched as sort of like lyrical, definitely sounds kind of blasphemous. And I'm thinking maybe also tragic because, like, it's going to be digging into the humanity of monsters and whether or not your love will, like, conquer your, I think, belief system that you should bring the world to an end? I don't know. It sounds like it's gonna be really, really special, so I also have high hopes for this one. And then this is a must-read author for me always. It totally, totally different than anything I've talked about so far. Complete break from horror, just to something a little more dark and steamy. This is gonna be A.L. Jackson, who has On the Brink of Bliss coming out also on February 10th. So yeah, a lot of releases for February 10th as well. This is the fifth book in her Moonlit Ridge series. This one focuses on a single mom character who's on the run and a grumpy recluse who goes into this fake marriage with her to help her protect her kids. I mean, it's going to promise all of the tropes. A.L. Jackson always brings them. Like, if you're familiar with her stuff, then you know that formula is going to be there for you. This is when you are in a mood where you just need to like know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, I'm talking like down to the percentage mark in your Kindle. You can go, oh yeah, this is what's coming next. Definitely, A.L. Jackson is one of those. All the tropes here, grumpy sunshine, roommates to lovers, morally gray hero. You know, sometimes you just need a steamy, solid little romance to sink into, and this one I just know is gonna fit the bill perfectly on that. And then y'all, mid-February is gonna bring out the big guns because The Warden has a new series out. Crown of War and Shadow by J.R. Ward is out February 17th. This is gonna be a brand new romantasy from, I mean, she's a huge number one bestseller, Black Dagger Brotherhood. Sorry, Warden. Just if you're familiar with her at all, like you know you're here for it. Um, so this one, it looks like, is going to sort of revolve around this outcast with a curse and then a dark mercenary on a mission to save the kingdom. So we're tropes it's promising are forced proximity, only one bed, and oh, who did this to you? This is poised to be, I think, probably a next really big one for J.R. Ward. So I'm super excited. I think I probably, well, I don't know if I will pre-order actually, because at least as of right now, Amazon is showing that this is going to be on Kindle Unlimited. So I may hold off for KU, but I think it's going to be really good. I've enjoyed her other stuff, and so I'm excited to start a new series with her. And then on February 22nd, Penelope Ward is back. This is going to be a standalone, I think, Taylor's Father. This one explores a little bit more of a taboo age gap. I tend to really like those. And a fairly complicated family dynamic. A 19-year-old character meets a man at a resort. They have a torrid affair. And then 4 years later, she realizes, whoops, he's her best friend's dad. So if you love angst, second chance romance, and a forbidden connection, those are all looking like from the blurb and details that this one is going to deliver all of that drama for you. And then kicking off March on the 3rd is The Library of Amerlin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by Kaylin Josephson. This is a new adult fantasy debut featuring a con artist who is going to infiltrate a magical library to pull off a heist. I love that if you're thinking con artist and you're thinking, dude, and you're thinking library, librarian, lady. No, let's flip that on its head. Looks like it's gender reversed on that, which love, love, love. It sounds enchanting. It seems like it's going to be full of magical creatures, which I love. And maybe I'm thinking a little bit of slow burn romantic tension. So definitely living for that. Seems like maybe sort of like con woman with a heart of gold and magical institutions with maybe a beast character, like a creature character for the librarian guy. So I think definitely one to watch on this. Also, if you've seen the cover of it, gorgeous. And then coming up on March 17th is a short story collection, You Have to Let Them Bleed by Annie. Annie, I'm really sorry. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do a couple of variations here. Neugebauer? Neugebauer. I will try my best next time. She's a two-time Bram Stoker Award finalist, and this is a collection that is supposed to gather like all of her best horror fiction, along with 8 new poems. Looks like there are the one that really stood out to me is a senior water aerobics class gone wrong. So that's just a teaser that has my palate totally wetted on this. Seems like it's kind of being billed as macabre and marvelous, which I mean, beautiful words to put together, macabre and marvelous. So if you like your horror in bite-sized, terrifying little chunks, this one is going to be for you. Super excited about it. And finally, rounding out March on the 31st is The Fourth Wife by Linda Hamilton. So this one is a historical Gothic fiction set in 1882 Utah territory. I'm guessing you might be able to pick up from the title, The Fourth Wife. It's going to follow a young Mormon woman who becomes the fourth wife, hey, in a polygamous marriage, only to find out that the decrepit mansion she shares with her sister wives is haunted, girl. So it's being compared to The Hacienda meets Sister Wives, which is a comparison I never even knew I needed until like right now. And it's being billed as like drawing on little known Mormon folklore. So that's going to be one of those things where I rabbit hole, and if it's in there, I'm going to like have to learn everything about it, and it'll just probably absorb my whole life while I'm reading that book. So yes, whew, I think we made it. There you have it. Whole stack of new books to keep you up way too late in February and in March. I would love to hear from you if you are excited about any of these, or if I missed your most anticipated read of the next 2 months. Please let me know. I look forward to seeing you back here, maybe to talk about some of these a little bit further. And cheers. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.